All right, gang, so we have the Husqvarna 66 all ported up and ready to go. I have not started it since I ported it. I'll have to do some carb tuning, I'm certain. And but what I found out the hard way, right, that the 66 did not come with a closed port cylinder. It's very, very similar to the 268 cylinder, but it's a Gillardani cylinder, and it has the open port setup, but they're encased within the cylinder. They don't open all the way to the bottom. Since I wanted this thing to be what people would want, I went ahead and I decided to go ahead, and I already had the 268 XP cylinder set up. So I went ahead and it was already ported. I just put it on here, and it's got a pop-up piston. I'll go over the timing numbers back in the garage whenever I get back in there. But yeah, it's a 268 XP cylinder setup at this point. So let's go ahead and see if she cranks. Can't ask for much better than that, can you? Pump that brake in. What she does. Burning off the muffler. That is cherry. Let's look at the RPMs. Well, the kill switch is a little screwed up on it. But overall, man, that thing runs sweet. It pulled 12.5 all the way through. It's got plenty of torque, got plenty of RPMs. I did not do a timing advance. I was back and forth with it. Should I do one? Should I not do one? But I realized, you know, I hadn't even ran it once it was ported. So I wanted to see how many RPMs it was capable of pulling. And at 12.5 through the cut there, we're good. We're good. You know, if whoever gets this, if you want it to scream a little bit higher and do more like 13,000 in the cut, you know, or something like that, you know. Again, that RPM through the cut does not do anything but for me. It tells me this is a good solid build. Nothing really more than that. But if you wanted to get it more RPM, yeah, feel free to do a small timing advance on it. But honestly, I wouldn't do it. I'd leave this thing right where it's at. That's a damn good running saw. Well, I think I got the idle a little bit too low. I know what it was, why it didn't start right away. See, I flooded it out. So, because the kill switch ain't working. When you have to kill a saw by flooding it out, well, it floods it out. And so it's not gonna start on the first pull whenever you go back to it. That's the tits right there. That's really nice. Very similar, now that I have it all together and I'm running it, very similar to my Echo 670 that I ported up. It just feels good. This one is probably a little bit lighter than the Echo, but the power characteristics seem very similar. I got it all coated up with a ceramic coating. I tried something different. I ran out of my Cerakote wipes, and so I got this ceramic car wax type stuff and put it on there, and it really helped, but it's not as good as Cerakote. So we're gonna go right now back to the garage, talk about it a little bit, and tell you guys how you can apply for the Waffle to win this saw. All right, there we go. So, if you're wondering how to get into the giveaway, raffle, waffle, whatever you want to call it, stick around. It's going to be in the video. But first, let's go over what you did. Actually, in the comments, there will be a link that you can click. That is to my Cash App account. And that's how you will enter. All right, so for now, let's just go right through it. So what I have done to the saw, I went ahead since yesterday is whenever I actually ran this in the wood. And I said, let's go inside and we'll talk about it some more. Well, I went inside and it was hot and the battery on my computer was low, blah, blah, blah. So I was just like, nah, I'm done. So I came back out here this morning and I replaced the spring on the clutch. So I think that's why I had to idle it so low, is because the clutch spring was a little bit worn over time, and it was letting that clutch expand too early. So now I was able to set it at a little bit higher RPM, so it'll be better. Anyway, so I changed the clutch spring. I went ahead and I went in there and I cleaned out the on-off switch. All I did was blow it out with air. I took it apart, blew it out with air, put it back together, works flawlessly. So learn to maintain your equipment, guys. It'll really help. What else? Okay, I guess we should go over the port work. So I'm almost 100% certain that this has a Meteor piston. It's either Meteor or a Highway, and I think it's Meteor, but it is a pop-up medium piston, Meteor piston. The port work on it. Okay, so the cylinder, it turns out that that was a quasi open port cylinder. So I nixed that and I put on the 268 XP cylinder that I already had ported up. And the port numbers on this are 77 on the intake, 101 on the exhaust, and 124 on the upper transfers. I didn't touch the bottom transfers, didn't even round them over, nothing. Okay. The squish is 24,000 squish, and of course it has that pop-up. So and no base gasket. So that's it. I didn't do a timing advance, and I'm still not going to do a timing advance. It runs stellar. I like it just the way it is. If this was my saw, I would run it just like this. There you go. But I wasn't looking to make this thing blazing fast or anything like that. I'm sure you can get a lot more speed. But as it is, this is a good work saw for somebody. I mean, it's really nice. I've ran these before. But I gotta be honest, they weren't anything special. You know, the ported ones that I had ran. I was like, really? That's not as good as stock. David and Kelsey Outdoors, David and Kelsey Mountain, they got a channel, okay? Met them out there at Taz's Tazapalooza event. Great guy, great gal. And I was talking with him about ported saws, and I thought it was not funny, but the oddest thing in the world. We're talking about ported saws, and he says, honestly, I've never ran a ported saw that I like. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, I think they're better stock. And, well, I mean, they had a different way of doing things than we do over here on the East Coast. From what I saw. I'm not saying anything like, oh, West Coast, well, no. But what I felt, I understood what he was talking about, because most of the people just liked to take, and they had a long bar, and they stood up, and they just put it on the wood, and they held the trigger, and they just let it slowly eat away. And, well, you can do that with your high roof and your lack of compression and all that stuff. That's just fine. You know, it goes, nee! And they're standing there smoking a cigarette. Nee! David, you would like this one, bro. This one has more power than stock from beginning to end. Okay? So from beginning to end, it has more power. And it's not that loud. It's a totally reasonable little muffler mod there. Let me see, where's my flashlight? So, yeah, you can see in there, it's definitely open, but it's in the stock position and whatever. So now at this point, is this a 268 XP? No, it's not. 268 XPs have a different crankcase setup, right? Because they have a single coil setup This one has a dual coil setup. And so there are various differences. I learned out the hard way that you can't exactly mix and match them. Not really. The top cover is a little different. It's a little lower, as well as the bolt holes don't 100% line up. And so it's not a 268 or a 272 or anything like that. What it is, it's a 66 with a 268 XP top end. And I had mentioned that possibly the 66 cylinder that came off of this thing might be almost exactly the same as a 268, but here's the big difference. That intake right there. This is the 66 cylinder. The 268 cylinder is bigger. You've got an more open area, and you can't use the same intake block. So the intake is a little bit different between the 268 and the 66. But this is a 268 XP cylinder, which is closed port, side fed, dual port engine, and it revs out really nice. It's not a super screamer, but it does carry nice RPM, way nicer than, say, like I was comparing it to the Echo 670. They have a more open exhaust where not the muffler I'm talking about the port, the exhaust port. It's a little bit wider on this so that you can get that exhaust out quicker. It allows it to rev faster. Is it a better saw? I'm not going to say anything like that. My 670 is mint. It's freaking awesome. It runs great. But it's a potato-potato situation. Which do you like more? I'm not going to say either one is better than the other. But this one is certainly nice. You got my sticker right there so that you can tell everybody if this is important to you. Or if you hate me and you want to say, Bodie can't build a good saw. Well, you got proof that this is one of the saws that I built. I don't give a shit. So either you like me or you don't. If you get caught up into that trying to please everybody mentality, well then you'll definitely never please yourself. And so I'm happy with this build. I'm very glad that I went in there and fixed that on-off switch. All it took was me blowing it out. And I'm also very happy that I went ahead and I went the extra step and replace that clutch spring, because that allows you to get that idle set up the way that it needs to be. So yeah, it's a good running saw. Heads up for anybody that might purchase this thing. The bar studs right there, the hole in the cases is a little bit warbled out. Just enough to where these things never tighten up, And so if you're putting bar on and off of there, you stand a chance of dropping these studs, especially this one, back into the case. Well, I cleaned up everything and I JB welded it on the inside. I just put it around the studs. I don't have a stud here quickly available. I just put it around the studs and then drove them in and tightened it up and let it dry overnight, and they should be good to go. But heads up to you guys, the thing runs so good, I'll be damned if I actually throw out the saw just because it has two warbled out holes right there, But other than that, there's no known issue, and that's not even an issue. I fixed it, but I did fix it with JB Weld. All right, but this thing is great. Got the cool metal flag handbrake, and it works flawlessly. It's perfect. Really, really nice little saw. So here's the dealioso. If you guys want to enter the contest to win this saw, today is, oh no, that's the wrong one. Today is the 19th of July, 2024. You have until the 26th of July, 2024, and that's when the giveaway will be, okay? So what you need to do is in this video, in the comments, right, not in the comments, in the description, I will have a link. This will lead you to my Cash App page, All right, I'm gonna put all this in the video. You're probably looking at it right now. You're gonna go to that, you're gonna click on it. Click. And you're going to make a payment between 5 and the moon. All right, and it's gonna go in $5 increments. If you put down $5, that is one chance to win this saw. And I thank you very much for your donation to the channel. All right, if you put down 2, that's 2 tickets. I'm sorry, 10. 5, 10, 15, 20. Whenever you get to 20, instead of getting 4 chances to win, you get 5. And then it'll repeat, right? Anything above $20 will be considered the exact same way that 20 was. So if you want to get 10 chances, it's going to cost you $40. See what I'm saying? And so we're going to give this a shot, see if this works. All of those payments that are made, whenever you're making the payment, I'm certain you have an option to say what it's for. Just put Husqvarna 66 Waffle Saw. You know, just put that, you know. Husqvarna 66 Waffle Saw. Anything like that is going to work. And again, we call it waffle because raffle brings in legalities and all this crap, and I don't want anybody bitching, and I don't want people finding my channel and saying, that guy's doing an illegal raffle, like they did the Guilty of Treason. Oh God, if you're one of those whiners, go away. Seriously, leave my channel. I don't want you around if you're a whiner like that. I mean, it's just awful. But anyways, yeah, great running saw. I hope you guys like it. I look forward to getting this in someone's hand and they enjoy it. And again, this is all done for being able to build my own dyno. I'm trying to raise funds to build a dyno. So that way, whenever I do these little competitions, somebody sends a saw in, anything, you name it. I build a saw and I go, wow, that's really powerful. And then we put it on the dyno and go, no, it's not. you know, it's for entertainment purposes. And I really hope that I can get it done before the 60cc challenge. That way, all of those saws, I can dyno them. It'll just add to the glory of that video. So anyways, you know how to donate to this cause and buy your raffle tickets, really. They're all on my Cash App. I can easily keep track of it and see who paid what and how many chances they're buying to win this saw. And maybe only one person buys a ticket and they get this saw for $5. Anyways, check you later. Oh, next Friday is whenever I'll do the giveaway. Did I already say that? The 26th of July, 2024.